Good to go? Yeah. Sweet.
How well do we use our freedom? We spent our entire lives just following, becoming what they wanted us to be. We can fall to succeed. You teach us how to walk, talk, breathe. Do we even control ourselves? You clear the advice, but you educated us. What is knowledge without power? We control our being, we control our choosing, and the power lies in us. Choose knowledge, choose freedom, choose activism, and incite a riot. Stand up for what is right and never ignore what is wrong. Believe you can succeed without them. They will only betray you in the end. I just wanna be the leader of the lost, the broken, and the dead. I just wanna be this figment in my head. There's systems in place that we need to fight. I'd sooner die for what is right, what you contribute to. Use your freedom, it is you who can change this. This is who we are. We do not respect a cowardly insect. Cause you use the system, we must resist them. Our existence will be a resistance to create value and purpose. Do every antic, make the corruption frantic. The bottom line is, we must be something more. The bottom line is, stand up for what is right and never ignore what is wrong. Believe you can succeed without them. They will only betray you in the end. I can be your everyday heroine. I can be your everyday heroine. Stand up for what is right and never ignore what is wrong. Believe you can succeed without them. They will only betray you in the end. I can be your everyday heroine. I can be your everyday
Awesome. Well, welcome back to another week of In the Fridge. We are here with Antimatter, all the way from Auckland.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks a lot. I think we'll start things off with just figuring out how you got started, or kind of how you got into the iteration of your performing persona that you have now. That was a really elongated thing, but
It made sense.
yeah.
This particular project, it actually started as a duo, so a few people know that. But for the most part, it's been me, and this year anyway, it's been me. So it started kind of like as a collaboration, so it was the two of us. But kind of what happened is my guitarist started to drift away, and he just got less and less interested, and so it was more and more me putting more effort in, and then when I replaced him, I had another guitarist, and she just kind of learned all the songs. But it's always mainly just ended up me as the songwriter, and that's kind of how I ended up with this sound, is because I was really influenced by the collaboration that we started with, because we were looking at like, you know, Nine Inch Nails kind of industrial type vibe, you know, electronic and glitchy kind of stuff. And then when he left, I still kind of kept going with that concept.
Yeah, and that sound. And
yeah, really found myself artistically within that, so I just kept going.
Cool. So yeah, it was just, what's it like coming from that, sort of real collaborative background and then moving into the solo stuff? Do you find that it's a lot more freeing? Or like?
Yes and no. A lot, like I think the main issue for me in terms of like a downside is like the self-esteem thing. Because a lot of the time, you know, when you got other people vibing with you, you're like, yes, this is good, this is great. And then when I went solo, the hardest thing for me was to be like, is this art worthy of something?
You don't have that sort of support from another source that you would usually have. Yeah.
But unfortunately, like you can pull other people around you to work with you though. So things like managers, labels, you know, shows. So you do get some support.
Yeah.
It is incredibly freeing though, artistically, because if I don't like something, I don't like it, and I don't have to perform it, and I don't have to. And if I like a song, like there's this one song in my set, I'm not playing it today, but that I usually do, and my guitarist hated it and we didn't record it, and now I'm going to go back and record it now because I can. Why not?
Exactly. Yeah, I think definitely you sort of hit the nail on the head with that whole thing, the pros and cons of, you know, you lose out on having, you know, just that extra input from someone else, but then you also have a lot of freedom. Have you sort of had any other projects in the past, like anything band related, or is this the first sort of project you've really pursued?
Yeah.
Cool.
I wasn't like, I'm not one of these people that's like talented, like as a musician, like everything that am capable of doing is something that I've built from the ground up.
Yeah.
So I've had like a bunch of like starter bands in, you know, you have like 5 practices and a song and then they just disintegrate. Yeah. So this is kind of the first project that I've actually managed to get off the ground, which is why when my guitarist left, I was like, fuck, like I'm still doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I don't want to like give up on everything I'd created. And then it's kind of freeing as well being by yourself, because you can pull people in to work with and then let them go.
Yeah. And you've got a solid enough basis as a solo performer that if people come and go, it doesn't really affect your ability to perform.
Yeah. Or, you know, and it doesn't change the concept or, yeah. I think that's the main thing is when you're going through bands, which I kind of did, playing, you know, I played bass in a few bands and did vocals in a few bands. And, you know, it's a new concept and it's a new how should we sound and this and that. And then I just get to hold on to the concept throughout who comes in and out of the project, which is exciting. I like it like that.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we'll let you get into the next song. What are you going to be playing for us next?
I think I chose Grapes. Yeah, so this is a song that my guitarist actually wrote the backing to and I did the vocal, and it's the only like real like 50-50 collaboration that we did, and mostly everything else is me after that. But it's a good song, so I'm going to do it.
Awesome. We'll let you get into that.
Paralyzed life drains from her body. soft feet.
So for the next part of the interview, I thought I'd just ask you about your most major influences musically. We usually ask people that in reference not just to big bands that you would have grown up with, but also maybe bands that you associate with now, especially in your scene as well.
The scene thing's really interesting for me because, like, as you can hear from the sound, it's not really something that I've been able to just slot into.
Yeah.
Like, I play with a whole bunch of different bands. Like, I've played, like, alternative indie to heavy screamo. Like, I did a metal gig once. That was... I figured out I don't fit in the metal scene. So there's, one down. But, I don't know. We kind of... I just take on whoever's around. When I'm organising gigs, I'm like... I like to give platforms to artists. So I've done one called Riot Girl where we take...
Yeah, I remember that gig. I think, I heard a lot about it from like the girls in Slumbug.
Oh, yeah. So that's something that I've organised.
Cool.
I've done 3 of them now. And, yeah, so I use that as a platform for female musicians to just go, hey, like, sometimes it is a bit of a boys' club, so I'm going to give you guys this opportunity. I
think especially in Auckland as well, there's so many, like, great female-fronted bands in, literally in every genre as well. So I think it's just really cool to see that. And you see more of it happening down in Wellington as well. I think the scene's really supporting that.
Yeah, so in terms of, like, when I do shows or, like, especially once I'm organising, I'll just, like, pull in people who I feel, like, need a platform.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really name, like, any specific artists that I feel like we're in a scene with because I just kind of, like, float around. Yeah. Which is good for me. I like that.
Well, it's good for other bands to see as well, I think. It's just that real cross-genre sort of, spread. I think, because, I think it's one thing I've been noticing more and more lately is just the real positive aspects of scenes merging, stuff like that. We get a lot of that here in Hamilton. It's like our hardcore scene is quite strong, but, you'll see the people from those bands at acoustic gigs and stuff like that, it's just all... Yeah,
like, I think it's really important to, like, foster community.
Yeah, exactly. It supports both scenes, like, in a way that's a lot better than just people sticking to one.
Yeah, and then I think, like, it's good when people go between scenes because it creates less, like, genre-ist. I don't know if genre-ist is a word, but...
Yeah, well, that's kind of how I think of it as well. That's the word I was thinking of before, and I was just deciding, is that a word or not?
But, I mean, especially for, like, people like me who go in between genres and, like, I don't even know what genre I am or... Yeah. I could list off, like, maybe 6 or 7 genres that I feel like I kind of fit into. Yeah.
I think the thing with electronic music is that it sort of naturally for people falls into a small handful. You've got industrial, you've got EDM, you've got, all these things. I don't know. It's pretty hard to define. I think in the last section we talked about, I think 9 Inch Nails was mentioned. Yeah. Is that whole movement sort of the center of your... sort of background influences? Or no, it sort of branches out from there?
Not at all. The only reason, like, I even use industrial is that's just how it came out. Yeah. Like, I use Witch House a bit as well. Cool. Especially with what I've been writing recently, like the new shit that I'll put out soon. Yeah. As getting real, like, kind of Witch House inspired. But, like, in terms of influences, I don't really sound like the bands I listen to. Yeah. Because I've got a massive, like, post-hardcore background. So I like bands like Bless the Fall and Seosin and Hawthorne Heights who are just here. Oh my God, that was exciting. My Chem, like, that's my musical background. So it's really interesting that I've kind of ended up doing this artistically.
Something that's, like, a bit removed from that scene.
Yeah, totally. Because, like, for the most part, like, when I write, I just sit down and I just write, really. Like, I'm not... I don't know, like, if people do it, but I think there are bands out there who are like, I want to sound like this specific band or, like...
Yeah, there's definitely people that take that approach, the sort of pick a genre, pick the, the standard tropes of them and just sort of fit the bill. Yeah. And it was, I mean, because when I was in my first bands when I was a teenager, post-hardcore was actually where I came from as well. And I think I got a lot of the people I was sort of meeting and playing with there was a big stream of that people were just like, okay, we got to have a breakdown that sounds like Asking Alexandria, and it's just got to do the thing. And I'm just like, oh, that's lame. You should just write. Yeah.
I actually am really massively influenced by 21 Pilots, which is interesting because you don't quite hear it, but the way that they'll go in the start of songs, like it'll start off as something and then by the end of it, it's kind of like, here's a dance breakdown or here's this or here's that. And I really love like kind of that mashup of what they do. But
well,
they do it in a more poppy way than what I do. Yeah.
As far as electronic artists go, like they're good with the minimal approach, I think, which is often in electronic music people are tempted to go the other way. Yeah. Which I think is quite cool.
I've been trying to like calm down my writing recently as well because I think these songs that I'm performing today, they're very much like I've gone this and like built it up like a house where I'm trying to like go back to like the foundations now with the new stuff.
Oh, great. Well, we'll let you get into song 3 and 4. What are you going to be playing for us to round off?
So the next song's called Fuckboy, which is a fantastic song that I wrote about a guy I was seeing last year. And I don't know if he knows yet because it's kind of like...
That you've written the song? Or?
Yeah, because some of his friends know and I don't know if he knows. But it's kind of like when people talk about my band, it's usually the song they talk about. So I'm like, do you know? But I don't think it really matters because I think he kind of deserves for me to yell at him like a bit. And then the last song is called Dead Space, and that's inspired by, well, kind of like the video game. I don't know who knows that video game, but like I've never actually played it, but I did like the concept of like zombies in space.
It's real Cronenberg.
Yeah, totally. And it's kind of like a metaphor for the mind because when I wrote it, I was like incredibly burnt out, and it was I was like watching my own mind deteriorate. Yeah. And that's a really weird thing to happen because I was very academic in high school and stuff. And when you're gone from being super sharp to like forgetting things and being so burnt out, I was like, oh my God, it's like being a zombie. So you'll hear that in the song as well.
So yeah, just like really trying to capture that mood and...
Yeah, it gets really spacey. I quite like it.
Cool. Well, we'll let you get into that.
Sweet.
Wait, I have some objections. I love it. I'm filming.
Good to go.
Good to go.
Yep.
Fuck, 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 fuck. In my head, I've got nothing up there. In my head, I don't know if I exist. What is reality? I got clouds in my skull, I've got clouds in my mind. I've got nothing, I'm not sure what I am doing. How do you do this living thing? Everyone is so smart and I am just a zombie. In my head, they exist. Walk around, get me down, shoot him dead, shoot him down, zombies. In my head, they exist. Walk around, get me down, shoot him dead, shoot him down, zombies. Dead space in the atmosphere. Dead space in the atmosphere. Dead space in the atmosphere. Dead space. In my head they exist. Walk around, get me down, shoot him dead, shoot him down, zombies. In my head they exist. Walk around, get me down, shoot him dead, shoot him down, zombies. Dead space in the atmosphere. Dead space in the atmosphere. Dead space in the atmosphere. Dead space.
So that was Antimatter. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
If I'm not mistaken, that last song, Dead Space, has a music video coming out very, very soon.
Yeah, so I've decided Halloween because I thought it was very appropriate for a song about zombies.
Awesome. And what platforms is that going to be available on? Are you putting it on YouTube or?
Yeah, so the main platform it's going to be out on is going to be YouTube. It's already on Spotify and iTunes under Antimatter, which is spelled with a space.
Awesome.
Space matter.
And we'll include, the relevant links in the YouTube video for this as well.
Yeah, totally.
Do you want to rattle off a few dates for upcoming gigs?
Yeah, so my next event is going to be Bella the Band. So my heat is the 5th of October and it's at King's Arms.
Awesome.
And then the next gig I've got lined up after that, it's not a definite, but 20th of October at Ding Dong Lounge.
Excellent. And whereabouts can people find you online? It's just Facebook mainly, or?
So I got a YouTube as well, which doesn't have a URL, which is fucking helpful because you have to get like 200 subscribers or something before you get a URL. But if you go via the Facebook, which is facebook.com/ the Antimatter Plan, which is all one word. The Twitter, my Twitter is Antimatter NZ. And my Instagram is -- the Antimatter Plan as well. So if you go via the Facebook, you can click watch video and it'll take you to the YouTube, which has my cover of Car Radio on it, which is awesome.
Awesome. Well, yeah, you heard it here. Find it all.
Check me out, man. It's the weirdest shit you'll find all day.
No, well, thanks again for coming in. And safe travels back to Auckland.
Thank you.
Okay, we're done? Where'd Jake go?